Welcome back, witches. Good to see you. I know that we are in the middle and approaching the end of November here, and you have not seen me since Halloween, but that is in fact the last day that I was healthy, that day that I put up the last day of Vlogtober where it was snowing on Halloween. I had a bit of a scratchy throat that day, but like nothing major, and I was like, oh, might be getting like a little bit sick, but doesn't like feel that bad. And then Wednesday, the November 1st, I was sick as a dog. I felt terrible. I think you might have heard me on the podcast last week, the episode 200, where I had a horrible voice. Like I just got so sick that day, fever and chills. And then after that started to get better, but it was just, I don't know if it was like cold or what it was, but then it definitely turned into bronchitis, and I was sick for a full 2 weeks, and it was not fun. And I think even now, like my voice is like a little bit, doesn't exactly sound like me, but we're getting much better, which is perfect because it is just in time for my birthday. My birthday is on Monday. So I thought I'd just chat a little bit about birthday magic because I am excited for that. And I am someone who does enjoy their birthday. I know some people do not, but I enjoy the day, like whether or not I'm like doing like a big celebration, whatever it is. I just like the magic that surrounds that day. It's like a day of personal power for you when it is your solar return. So that's what you will often hear it called in the witchcraft realm, is solar return. You might have heard of Saturn return. That's very popular to talk about. And that is when Saturn is coming back around to the position that it was when you were born. And that happens about every 29 years. But your solar return is the sun coming back to where it was when you were born, your astrological sun sign. And being a Scorpio, mine is on Monday. Obviously, that happens every year, so it is a good day of personal power for you. And I intend to use it as such. So let's chat a little bit about the idea of solar returns and what you can do, how you can celebrate when yours comes up, and sort of what mine looks like and what I'll be doing. The first thing that I think can be really helpful is to do a solar return reading. There are places online where you can put in your birth chart information and then get specifically your solar return. So it will give you the information of like where, besides the sun, all of the other like planets and things are going to be positioned on your birthday, and then also a look ahead at what is coming for you in the next year. So there are lots of places where you can get that information for free, but it will just like list out sort of like what the planets are doing, and you have to be able to read that for yourself, which can be tricky. And then there are places online where you can order and pay for like the full breakdown, or it tells you what all of that stuff means. But I think it's kind of fun to, if you're getting into astrology and learning these things for yourself, and you kind of have like the basics of your birth chart and you figured things out there, to try your hand at a more detailed reading and kind of figure out what is going on for you and what it means. And even myself, this is not something that I am well versed in. There's so much information, it's really hard, and I could study for the rest of my life and still not know what is going on, but I can kind of do the basics. So I plugged in for information and got that like basic reading of what's going on with my solar return, and kind of figuring out, using that information to figure out then like what is going on in the next year. So the main thing I wanted to figure out is what's going on with the sun and what house the sun is in on my birthday, because it's not always going to be the same house as when you were born. So when I was born, the sun was in Scorpio in the 12th house, which makes me an extra private, intuitive, sneaky person. It like amplifies all of my Scorpio tendencies to have that in the 12th house. But this year it is in my 6th house. And by knowing sort of where that sun is, what house that's in, you can get a good idea of like what your energies are going to be for that next coming year, and set goals accordingly, because it is going to be more focused of what's going on in your life, of what that house represents. So in astrology, the 6th house is associated with work, health, daily routines, and also service and responsibility. It really governs both physical and mental well-being, whether that is work ethic or self-improvement. It's all about those important lifestyle habits. So when the sun transits that 6th house, it's really bringing more attention to those themes that are related to like health and daily routines. So that means it's a good time, and this entire year until my next birthday will be a good time to assess like work habits, overall well-being, lifestyle choices. Just generally a good time for goals that are related to career or to health. And it really highlights these areas where you need like more balance and like what needs improvement to have a more balanced life. Personally, I think that that is great information to know because especially since my birthday is towards the end of the year, it really helps me set up my goals and resolutions. I do like to make new goals on January 1st. I am that person, but I like figuring out what's going on with my solar return because that sets me up for having all of that information and setting those goals accordingly. So that kind of lines up with what I'm thinking and planning, just everything in sort of that health and lifestyle choices related category. So to me, that absolutely makes sense, but I love having that extra bit of guidance, like knowing that the energies of my next year are going to be focused in that area. So it's probably the best time to work on goals like that. So definitely my number one birthday magic is to get that solar return reading and try figuring it out for yourself. Even if you are only able to get that what house the sun is in information, that is a great place to start. And then you can slowly figure out what's going on with the other things. The next thing that I love about birthday magic and the solar return is that about 2.5 months or so before that is sort of the end of the year cleanup. A lot of people will do this in December and sort of like clean up their lives, clean up their home in anticipation of the new year and sort of get things in order. But this naturally happens in your life before your birthday. This absolutely happens for me. We're looking at beginning of September, and that is a big period of transition for me. And it does seem like a reset time where certain things will leave my life in those periods from September until now, and other things will come into it. So it's great on your birthday to reflect of like what happened in the last 2 months and what has sort of left and what has come in, and especially in terms of people, because that's going to make a big difference in your year coming up, especially the people who left and the new people who are coming in are going to play an important role in whatever is coming in the next 12 months. So I thought that was interesting because I do have a friend, Tina, who I had known peripherally and had spent time with like a couple of times over the years because she did go to grade school with my husband and his sister, so they have known her their entire lives. And she lives in the neighborhood with her husband and her 2 kids, not that far from us. But then in September, her and I recently started hanging out so much more. And a lot of that had to do with like neighborhood stuff and our community things, like fun stuff like football, but also like neighborhood meetings and going to like the Chicago police, they call it CAPS. I don't know what CAPS stands for, but something about like our local neighborhood police beat meetings. So her and I have been going to that. Fun neighborhood meetings like at the bar. She did come for Halloween, but I have just been spending so much more time with her in the last 2.5 months. That really started at the beginning to middle of September. So to me, that suggests that she is going to play an important role coming up in the next 12 months. I have no idea what that is. It could be related to those like health and lifestyle changes and goals that I'm going to start thinking about that's important in my solar return reading. But it really could be any number of things, and it's just something fun to sort of pay attention to and focus on to see what might be coming ahead in the next year. And as far as magic of what to do on the actual day of your birthday, you're gonna have a lot of great energies surrounding your birthday, so it doesn't have to be the actual day, but the day itself, of course, is going to be that peak. For me, I do not like to do or not do anything, if that makes sense, that I don't want in the full year. A lot of people will take work off of their birthday for that reason, because if their job is like particularly stressful or they have coworkers they don't love, if you're hanging out with them on your birthday, you're inviting that energy in for the entire next year. So I have a good friend, Steph, and I will link her Instagram and blog below. We have been friends for a long time, and she always takes off work on her birthday, and I love that about her. For me, I do not hang out with people on my birthday that I do not want to see in the next year. So whether that is acquaintances, people that I just generally butt heads with, I don't want to hang out with them on my birthday because that is just inviting them to be a lot more involved in my life in the next year. And on the other hand, I want to hang out with people and do things that I want more of in the coming year. So that's usually how I choose to spend my birthday. I will spend it with John, my husband. I'll spend it with our dog. I will spend some time reading. We might go out someplace casual, have a cocktail. And I do say a casual cocktail because I do not get drunk on my birthday anymore. I did when I was in college. It was like a big night to go out and everybody's having lots of cocktails, and those were always rough years ahead for me. So I do not like to invite that energy in anymore. Because hangovers do not hit the same when you're in your 30s, okay? It's not fun. It's not fun. It is also that ideal day for wish magic, which everybody who's like, oh, I don't believe in witchcraft or, Witchcraft is evil, you get those people too, still blow out candles on their birthday cake, and that is wish magic, that is witchcraft. And there is a reason why we all do that, and that is because of the personal power associated with that day. So I love to do wish magic. Blowing out the candle is a fun one. If you have a cake or cupcake or something that you want to do that with, absolutely great idea. You can also do more traditional witchy wish magic, which is writing your wish on a bay leaf and burning that bay leaf. I usually do both on my birthday because I don't think there is a limit to my wishing on my birthday. It's my day. And another thing that I do specifically on my birthday as a form of like self-care and self-love is to get myself a gift. I am all about the treat yourself, but to present it to myself in the same way that I would to a friend or family member. I pick out something that I really want. I think it will come to no one's surprise that this year it is a stack of books. And I will take the time to actually wrap them nicely, put a little bow on it, put a little tag on it, and actually sort of present that to myself as a way of honoring that day and just having some of that self-love celebration. So I am generally looking forward to Monday. I think it is going to be a fun day. That's everything that I have to share on birthday magic this year, but do let me know in the comments how you celebrate your birthday. Have you ever done a solar return reading to sort of set your goals and intentions accordingly, and let me know how you celebrate your birthday. If you take off of work, if you only hang out with certain people, I love to know all of those things. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. I might be posting next week. We will see. It is going to be the day after Thanksgiving. So I don't know what I want to post then, or sort of like what's going to be going on in my life, like during that week of Thanksgiving. That is still up in the air. So I am not sure if I will be back then, but I will definitely be back on December 1st because I am going to be doing Vlogmas this year. So lots more to come on that, and definitely I will be here on December 1st and we will do all kinds of chatting about that. That is everything that I have for you for today. I will see you in the next one.